Part 34. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 332. Li Yang and Li Xingguo were stumped. Lin Feng's right arm was still on his shoulders, and it was estimated that it would take 2 or 3 months. His left hand patted Lin Feng's shoulder. "Good brother, 2 million, we have taken it, you can take it. Just go for 1 million. With 1 million in hand, Lin Feng walked out of the Jinwu Center with Dainan and Tian Qingzhu, followed by a person Li Xingguo sent to see them off. Sitting in the Wrangler off-road vehicle, the three of them were silent, but Tian Qingzhu couldn't help but wanted to ask Lin Feng, and Dainan also felt that the atmosphere was not right. It was estimated that Tian Qingzhu had understood it, and she caught Tian Qingzhu's hand. "Let her not ask. The master bedroom that Lin Feng rented has not been back for a few days." Suddenly, he walked in with a great feeling. Lin Feng has typed a lot of words here, Lin Feng has played ambiguous with women here, and Lin Feng has fantasized about his future here. There is definitely no luxurious private villa here, but it makes him very comfortable. Lin Feng believes that when he buys his own house in the future, it will be more comfortable to live in. When Tian Qingzhu was about to ask Lin Feng, Dainan grabbed her hand, a special look fell on her face, and smiled. "Qingzhu, come out with me." Tian Qingzhu and Dainan walked out together, and when they reached her partition room, Dainan sighed softly. "Have you seen it?" "Well, I can see it." In the past few days, Lin Feng was not helping Li Xingguo, but was with Ye Ziyi and Hong Ying. "Is it necessary for you to cheat me together? What is the reason?" "Do you know?" Tian Qingzhu was in great pain, sobbing and crying. All this was caused by the unclear relationship between Lin Feng and Bai Shan before. Lin Feng and Dainan didn't want Tian Qingzhu to know about these things, and Dainan didn't know how to explain it. If you really want to know the reason, then ask Lin Feng when the injury on his body recovers. Now that he is injured, can you not ask? I want to be his girlfriend, I'm serious, I've never been so moved by a man, so I'll ask him tonight, even if he's hurt, it won't affect his answer to me. If he doesn't answer, I'll break up with him. It seems to be a little too serious. Tian Qingzhu even mentioned breaking up friends, it seems that she is really serious. Dainan said, "Let's go." Tian Qingzhu walked out, but Dainan sat on the bed in a daze, wondering if a war would break out between Lin Feng and Tian Qingzhu, or if Tian Qingzhu would leave resolutely after learning about Lin Feng and Bai Shan He. Tian Qingzhu walked in. Walking slowly towards Lin Feng, her face was pale and her eyes were blurred. Standing in front of Lin Feng, she said silently for a moment, "Why lie to me?" Facing the pure and beautiful Tian Qingzhu, Lin Feng was very embarrassed. He was very passive and lit a cigarette, hoping that the stimulation of nicotine would give him some inspiration, but what was it really like to tell Tian Qingzhu the truth? Maybe if you tell the truth, you will lose Tian Qingzhu, the beauty school, and the romance that happened in the past will always exist in memory, and the romance that you have fantasized about will come to nothing. Lin Feng said, "You sit down." Tian Qingzhu sat beside Lin Feng. He quickly leaned on him, when Lin Feng's right arm touched Tian Qingzhu's soft body. The severe pain struck again, this time in the fight with Black John. He was indeed seriously injured. Tian Qingzhu said, "Come on, no matter what you say, I can accept it. Even if the noble and beautiful Miss Ye is already your girlfriend, I can still stand it." Lin Feng said, "You misunderstood, it's not between me and Ye Ziyi, but between me and, I really don't know what to say to you. In fact, this is a very confusing and shameful thing." Hearing that Lin Feng said that it was not between him and Ye Ziyi, Tian Qingzhu was very happy, but that kind of joy was only fleeting. "Even if it is very confusing, even if it is very embarrassing, I still hope you can say it, if you really treat me as a friend. After all, you lied to me, you are the person I trust most, but you lied to me when I wanted to be with you the most." Lin Feng gently hugged Tian Qing's soft body, and told everything about him and Bai Shan before. After Tian Qingzu learned about the whole thing, he found that there was indeed a lot of confusion between Lin Feng and Bai Shan. Shan's previous life was very chaotic. She fell in love with Lin Feng in the chaos. After she fell in love with Lin Feng, she was still chaotic. Bai Shan had only had a relationship with Lin Feng and had never been his girlfriend. Love is sincere. Lin Feng originally thought that Tian Qingzu would shed tears to his heart's content. He cried so hard, and then called him a shameless bastard, and then slammed out the door to distance himself from him, but what surprised him was that Tian Qingzu didn't cry, but showed it. He smiled brightly and even kissed his cheek. Tian Qingzu's voice is so sweet as a mountain spring. Brother Feng, thank you for being honest with me. It should take a lot of courage to tell me this, right? What I want to say to you is that no matter what you are or what happened between you and Bai Shan in the past, this is all about you in the past. I don't care, and, although many people say that I am innocent, and even think that I have a beautiful face and a graceful figure, but my EQ is very good. But what I want to tell you, I have a tolerant heart. Even if I do become your girlfriend in the future, I will not catch you breathless like a straw. You can have freely. Friends, you are free to do what you want, but there are some things that I can't see. If I see you doing that action on a beautiful body, I will definitely break up with you. Lin Feng's feeling at this time can no longer be completely described as surprise. Tian Qingzu said a lot just now, but it can be summed up in 2 points. The first point is that he doesn't mind the past of him and Bai Shan. The second point, if she does it later, Lin Feng's girlfriend, Lin Feng can't play with other women in front of her. Even if Lin Feng has had that kind of relationship with other women, as long as she doesn't see it with her own eyes, it will be fine. Very rational and forgiving. Tian Qingzu is very difficult. Many women can't do it. She can do it. Lin Feng suddenly found out that he and Tian Qingzu are so suitable. If Tian Qingzu becomes his girlfriend, it will make him very comfortable and unrestrained. Lin Feng said, Qingzu, be my girlfriend. I hope you will already be my girlfriend when the two of us leave here. Tian Qingzu said, what's the hurry? Even if I become your girlfriend now, you can't get my body right away because you have injuries on your body. Lin Feng smiled and said, it doesn't matter. Even if I have injuries on my body, I can fight with you for an hour. Oh, when it's your first time, let's relax a little bit and stop. Tian Qingzu said tenderly, looking at how excited you are, it's really annoying. I will seriously consider whether to be your girlfriend. Look, the summer vacation is coming soon. After the summer vacation, I will go back to Qiushan town in Shu province. I'll give you an answer when I come back from Qiushan town. Lin Feng was not as excited as before, lit a cigarette, and said with a relieved smile, it's been a long time, you haven't decided whether to be my girlfriend or not. Tian Qingzu said, actually, you haven't completely thought about whether to let me be your girlfriend. There are some things you may not want to hear now, but I still have to say them. Lin Feng blew a strong breath of smoke and looked at Tian Qingzu's face anxiously. What she saw at this time was a brand new Tian Qingzu, which was very different from the previous one. Still beautiful, still graceful, still pure, but also has a precious taste that he has not discovered before. Lin Feng said, just say it, I will listen carefully. Tian Qingzu said, actually, in your heart, there has always been a girl who is more suitable to be your girlfriend than me. Lin Feng said, you mean Wang Wei? Tian Qingzu said, yeah, it's the girl you always call her Xiao Yi. You and her are college classmates, and the relationship is not generally good. If Xiao Yi becomes your girlfriend, your life will be happy. Compared with Xiao Yi, I am more suitable to be a passerby in your life or a lifetime good friend. Lin Feng smiled and said, your analysis is very rational, but your analysis is not realistic. If Xiao Wei wants to be my girlfriend, when I am not a good monk teacher, she is my girlfriend, And there is no the part about my monk teacher, you have seen it, my monk teacher is better and separated, but now Xiao Ei is not my girlfriend, so she will not be my girlfriend in the future. Why? Because they are too familiar with each other, Lin Feng said. Sister Nan doesn't want to be your girlfriend because she's too familiar. That's right, but the situation between me and Xiao Ei is very different from the situation between me and Dainan. I am familiar with Dainan because I know a lot about her in the past, and Xiao Ei and I are familiar with each other because of each other. It takes too long to be good friends. Look at those childhood sweethearts who grew up together. How many of them can get married and have children? Basically, men marry other women, and women marry other men, and the friendship may last a lifetime. It's almost impossible to live under the same roof. Brother Feng, I seem to understand. Then you can be my girlfriend now, Lin Feng said. Wait until I come back from Qiushan town in Shu province. You still don't dare to be my girlfriend because you are not sure whether you want to stay in Beijing after graduation. You are going back this time to understand the situation there, Lin Feng said. Brother Feng, I don't want to lie to you. The purpose of my going back this time is to find out personally whether there is a great need for talents like me there. If there is a great need for me there, I'm sorry, I have to go back. I am nostalgic for Beijing. I miss you too, but I can't lose my faith. What is your belief? I want my life to shine. These have nothing to do with material and environment. Maybe I will wear the cheapest clothes after going back, and I will wear steamed buns and pickles. I will age faster than other women, but I will still go back. Tian Qingzu said. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 333. Lin Feng was very moved and helpless. His tears could flow out at any time, but he stopped the tears when he raised his head. He smiled and said, "Then I will wait for you to come back and give me an answer. Remember, what happened just now was the one I asked for. What you confessed was not that you confessed to me, that I was chasing you, not that you were chasing me. Brother Feng, you are very attentive and always take my face into consideration. Brother Feng, thank you for your love for me. Brother Feng, I am very happy to know you in this life. It seems that you should go to Yezi's private villa. Otherwise, that noble lady will lose her temper," Tian Qingzu said. In fact, Yezi is as kind as you. She has a soft side and a delicate side. It is her wealth and status that make her appear arrogant. There are very few girls who are not arrogant like her. Unfortunately, you and Yezi can only be friends. She is unlikely to become your girlfriend," Tian Qingzu said. Originally it was time to go, but Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu chatted for about half an hour, and then they came out. Lin Feng went to Yezi's private villa, and Tian Qingzu went to Dainan's partition room. Dainan's heart has always been very nervous, worried that Lin Feng and the beautiful Zhu will not be able to make friends in the end. Seeing Tian Qingzu's bright smile, she breathed a sigh of relief, and then showed a sweet smile. "It should be yes, do you already know? Brother Feng told me everything about him and Bai Shan before. I feel guilty now. I shouldn't ask him about that, because it was all about him before, and it has nothing to do with me, even if I am him now, his girlfriend, and he shouldn't mind his past. What's more, I'm not his girlfriend now." "Do you really have such a state of mind?" Dainan was quite surprised. "I have, in fact, I've always been like this. Beauty bamboo. You are amazing, and I want to impress you again." Dainan once again admired Tian Qingzu in his heart. "It would be great if Lin Feng could have a girlfriend like Tian Qingzu," she asked. "Did Lin Feng ask you to be his girlfriend?" "He brought it up." "Did you agree?" "I said, I will reply to him when I come back from Qiushan town in Shu province." "Actually, Tian Qingzu said everything she thought. Dinan was silent, she even wanted to cry. What I should say has been said many times before, and even if it is repeated now, it is useless, she said helplessly. Then you can go back and have a look. I hope that other people who are willing to contribute have already arrived there, and you don't need to continue walking. The old way of my parents. Tian Qingzu said, my parents are great. Dinan said, but it's not just your family that should be great in this world. When others are great, they need to be great. Tian Qingzu smiled slightly, I'm sleepy, let's go to bed. Let's bless Brother Feng together in my sleep, and hope that his injury will recover soon. Dinan knew that Beauty Zhu was very worried about Lin Feng's injury. In fact, she was also very worried, but she still smiled. Lin Feng has practiced Kung Fu for many years before, and he is in good health. His injury will soon heal. Lin Feng arrived at Ye Ziyi's private villa. It was more than an hour later than Ye Ziyi expected. Ye Ziyi and Hong Ying were still talking just now. If Lin Feng did not come back this evening, how should he punish her? At the beginning, I decided that if this happened, I would punish Lin Feng for staying here for a while longer. Let him live for a month before leaving, and don't let him code. Make him miserable, make his readers scold him, make the companies he signs with trouble him. But Ye Ziyi and Hong Ying soon felt that this was too cruel to Lin Feng. Since they were already friends, they couldn't treat him like this. Even if he didn't come back tonight, let him leave here in 3 days. At the same time, Hong Ying is also worried about whether Lin Feng will agree to maintain a lover relationship with her before leaving here. Lin Feng likes beautiful women very much, and many men like beautiful women, especially such beautiful, hot, and charming women like her. But the situation is special, and Lin Feng is very likely to reject her considering some aspects. If Lin Feng rejected her, she would be very embarrassed. Hong Ying asked Ye, if Lin Feng rejected me, would I still be friends with him? Ye Ziyi said, if he really rejects you, it is up to you whether you want to be friends with him, but I think he is more likely to agree. Hong Ying said, why? Ye said, because you have aroused his fiery desire. Once a man's desire is aroused, it is very difficult to extinguish, unless he gets pleasure in the burning, it will gradually calm down. When Lin Feng came back, Ye Ziyi and Hong Ying didn't have to worry about punishing him. Ye Ziyi smiled and said, you are smart, you are finally back tonight, otherwise you will be very sad. It was originally decided that even if Lin Feng did not come back tonight, the punishment would not be aggravated, but Ye Ziyi still said very sharp words, and Hong Ying thought that Miss Ye was deliberately showing her personality in front of Lin Feng. Hong Ying had asked Ye Ziyi if she liked Lin Feng before. Ye Ziyi said that she didn't mean anything to Lin Feng. She only regarded Lin Feng as an ordinary friend, and she was an ordinary friend who would always make her very angry if she was a bit hateful. Lin Feng put the suitcase containing 1 million on the side of the coffee table, sat beside Ye Ziyi, grabbed the cup on the coffee table to drink water, and soon realized a problem and said with a smile, whose is this cup? Ye Ziyi said, it's mine. Lin Feng put down the cup again, grabbed the cup he used before and was going to pour water, but Ye said at this time, you can drink water from my cup, Hong Ying will pour the water for you, it looks like you are hurt sentimentally, take care of you. Lin Feng didn't reach the level of being flattered, but his heart was still relatively comfortable. Since Miss Ye Ziyi gave her face like this, Lin Feng was rude. He grabbed Ye's cup and drank more than half of the water. Hong Ying used Lin Feng's cup to make it. Tea came over and sat beside Lin Feng. She wanted to ask something, but she planned to let Ye Ziyi talk to Lin Feng first. Ye Ziyi said, this suitcase can hold up to 1 million. It seems that the remaining 2 million has already belonged to Li Yang and Li Xingguo. Lin Feng said, before they lost 2 million to Zhu Qinglan, and they were beaten like that by Black John, I can't make their injuries heal immediately, but it is necessary to make up for their previous losses, even if the 2 million are paid back, but I still feel very sorry for them. As a friend, I caused them a lot of trouble. Yezideo, real friends are not afraid of trouble. Making friends is to have a helper when something happens, and someone to talk to when you want to talk, because people are very afraid of loneliness. Linfeng lit a cigarette and started smoking. His face was very anxious. Yezi, I said, are you worried that the woman Zhu Qinglan will take revenge? Linfeng said, she has already scared you, stupid. I am afraid that what she is most afraid of now is that we continue to repair her. As for the heart of revenge, I am afraid that I will not have the heart of revenge. What I am worried about is that from tomorrow, my novel will be broken. If possible, I still want to send a notice, and then call my editor-in-chief. At least I should find a reason, otherwise my readers and my editor-in-chief may think that I am unreliable. Yaya said, I know you are a reliable person. Linfeng said, but you are not my editor-in-chief, nor my reader. You think I am reliable and useless. Leaf said, is it really useless? Linfeng said, for the mutual trust between me and you, you think I am reliable and useful, but it is useless for my book. Yezi, I said, anyway, I won't let you send a notice, and I won't let you call the editor-in-chief whose online name is Wenqing is not sick. At this moment, Linfeng wanted to take Yaya into his arms, and then gave her a few kisses on her beautiful face that always looked noble, and then asked her, you are a very good person, can you not do this? Linfeng resisted this urge, and exhaled a strong puff of smoke angrily. If Wenqing is not sick and calls me, I can always answer it. Yezi, I said, if she calls you, of course you can answer it, so you can make up the reason. Linfeng said, this is fine. He felt that Wenqing would have called if he was not sick. It is estimated that when his novel was out for a day, Wenqing would have called when he was not sick. Hongying has always been worried about Linfeng's injuries. Seeing that Yezi didn't seem to want to talk to Linfeng anymore, Hongying grabbed Linfeng's hand and said with concern, how is your injury? It hurts a lot. The trauma medicine is ready and can be used at any time, but I think it is best to take you to the hospital for a systematic examination. Linfeng said, I don't need to go to the hospital, as long as I use the magical trauma medicine in your hands, I will soon get better. I know my body. This time I was injured by Black John, but it has not yet arrived. The extent of the broken bones. Hongying said, you are really fierce. Linfeng squeezed Hongying's soft hand and said in his heart, your hand is so soft, but your hand is so sharp. If you and I roll on the bed, when I break into your body, you will feel that I am very fierce. I will make you go back and forth with joy, and I also believe that your moist place can bring me a very wonderful enjoyment. But he and Hongying are not lovers yet. Even if he really wants to have with Hongying tonight, Hongying will not take off his pants easily. At the same time, Linfeng has not figured out whether he wants to maintain a lover relationship with Hongying. If he agrees, what will be the consequences? He had never had a lover relationship with a woman like Hongying before, and had no experience in dealing with this kind of thing, so he had to think about it carefully, lest he would become extremely passive after being happy for a while. Yezi, I plan to live here this evening. She smiled at Linfeng and Hongying and went upstairs to hand over the injured Linfeng to Hongying. What to do, but at this time, the relationship between her and Linfeng has undergone subtle changes, and her heart is a little flustered. Linfeng said, it seems that you should give me medicine. Even if the trauma medicine in your hands is amazing, it must be used on me before it can work. Hongying said, oh, yes, it's time to give you medicine, let's go upstairs together. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 334. When they arrived at Lin Feng's room together, Hong Ying thought that Lin Feng would immediately take off his clothes and lie on the bed and let her handle it, but Lin Feng sat on the sofa and lit a cigarette. In Hong Ying's eyes, Lin Feng's face was full of man's taste, but also full of a very special melancholy. Hong Ying sat beside Lin Feng and smiled. "What are you worried about? Are you afraid that when I am giving you medicine, our bodies will suddenly be connected?" Lin Feng smiled and said, "What are you kidding? I didn't worry about this when you gave me a red-style massage, and I don't worry about it now. If you can't control that desire, you can sit on your butt. Down." Facing Lin Feng's teasing, the passionate and unrestrained Hong Ying was a little shy, and smiled charmingly. "I'm afraid of pain, because that kind of pain is very different from the pain of injury. I don't want my first time to be so violent, even if I'm really with you well, the first time. Please take the initiative and be gentle. As for the future, maybe I will be very active. Even if I have never had that kind of thing with a man before, I can imagine that I will be hot in the future. Yes, maybe my performance will surprise you." Lin Feng was obviously stimulated by Hong Ying. He had the heart to do Hong Ying tonight. His body was very tall and straight. At the same time, he also felt pain in his arms and legs. He had no doubt that if he and He John's fight extended for another 10 minutes, and he was going to endure the pain of the broken bones, but fortunately, he believed that the existing injury would get better in a while. "I'm afraid that Black John is more painful than him, if Zhu Qinglan doesn't stay in Beijing long enough. Black John could only come back to the United States with her wounded. Black John was just a gun of the woman Zhu Qinglan. Lin Feng has resentment towards Zhu Qinglan, but he has no resentment towards Black John at all." Lin Feng took off his shirt after smoking a cigarette. Hong Ying saw the strong muscles and the bruises on his arms, 2 of which were dark red, and the blood could break the skin at any time. "Out." Lin Feng took off his pants. His legs were not much better than his arms. He lay on the bed with only a pair of trousers all over his body, smiled and said, "Hot beauty, you can give me medicine." Hong Ying sat beside Lin Feng, raised his right hand and made a move to attack Lin Feng's part, smiled charmingly. "You are really tough." Lin Feng said that it is all for you to stimulate. Hong Ying said, "You are injured now. It's best not to think about it until your injury has recovered a little, or it will aggravate your injury." Lin Feng said, "You mean, if I spray now, the injury on my body will not heal?" Red Shadow said, "I don't know this very well, but I do know that even a man who is not injured will hurt his body if he sprays too much." Lin Feng said, "Not much at a time." Hong Ying said, "Maybe I can make you spray a lot, drain your essence." Lin Feng said, "You are not a fairy." Hong Ying said that although I am a person, I have the potential to be a fairy. During the teasing, Hong Ying had already started to use trauma medicine on Lin Feng's injured area. The cool feeling reduced the pain, and Lin Feng was much more comfortable than before. Lin Feng has always been puzzled. Where did this magical trauma medicine in Ye Zi's hand come from? It belongs to the category of traditional Chinese medicine. It is estimated that it came from the hands of a genius doctor. He means nothing. Lin Feng's hand fell on Hong Ying's thigh, stroking the soft texture full of texture. Hong Ying's thigh moved, and said angrily, "You bastard, don't move, this is a treatment, not a massage." Lin Feng caressed Hong Ying's thigh with his hand and smiled, "You treat me, I will massage you." Hong Ying said, "That is not a massage, but a stroking." Lin Feng said that sometimes stroking can have the effect of massage. When Lin Feng's hand reached the edge of Hong Ying's trousers, Hong Ying's hand stopped and fell on his face with a bit of anxiety, and said coldly, "Be honest with me." If Lin Feng's hand slammed into it, before Hong Ying could react, he would be able to tease the moist softness, but he didn't do that. Hong Ying was giving him medicine, he didn't want to be here time to fight with the Red Shadow. Lin Feng was really honest for half an hour, until Hong Ying used the trauma medicine for him, and did not touch Hong Ying's body again, but Hong Ying's body was already very wet. She immediately wanted to change a pair of pants, but finally decided to wait until tomorrow morning to change. Lin Feng also hoped that Hong Ying could leave his room soon, so that he could calm down more easily. He had used the trauma medicine just now. Sleep well and wait until tomorrow morning. Maybe his injury will be greatly improved. But Hong Ying twisted in front of him, and the heat and confusion hit him together, making his body even more upright, and the hormonal air rushing through his body. Lin Feng said, "Are you intentional?" Hong Ying said, "What's wrong with dancing? As you said before, I love watching me dance." Lin Feng said, "But I don't want to watch it now." Hong Ying said, "But I really want to dance now." The graceful waist continued to twist, the round buttocks continued to rippling, and the charming face was charming and intoxicated. Seeing that Lin Feng wanted to get up and grab her, Hong Ying smiled and walked away, then walked out. Lin Fengzin said, "You really have the potential to be a goblin, but do I really want to maintain a lover relationship with you, a goblin-like woman?" After one night, Lin Feng's injuries really improved a lot. It was no longer as painful as last night when he got out of bed and walked around. Leaf's trauma medicine was amazing, but Lin Feng admired his body even more. After having breakfast together, Ye and Hong Ying both left, as if they didn't take Lin Feng's breakup today seriously, but Lin Feng himself took it seriously. Lin Feng, who was sitting on the sofa, was very anxious. He wanted to call the beauty editor several times, but he held back. Sister Wang came over with a fruit plate, sat beside Lin Feng, smiled and said, "You eat some apples and some peaches." Lin Feng said, "Do not want to eat?" Sister Wang said that even if you don't eat fruit, you can't code words, so it's better to eat some fruit and add some vitamins. Lin Feng said, "Okay." He was helpless, grabbed a tooth of the apple and ate it in his mouth. He vented his anger on the apple, biting loudly. Sister Wang, a charming woman, can understand Lin Feng's state of mind very well, and a different kind of smile permeates her delicate face. Lin Feng said, "Are you gloating?" Sister Wang said, "Of course not anymore, I don't have this habit, but your current state is too funny." Lin Feng said, "That's still gloating. If your face can't calm down within a minute, I'll screw your face." Sister Wang seemed to want to laugh more, and the smile on her beautiful face became more intense, but Lin Feng had already started to check the time. When 60 seconds passed, he planned to pinch Sister Wang's face. When 59 seconds passed, Sister Wang's face actually calmed down, like a calm lake, very delicate and clear, with a warm glow in her eyes, staring at the TV screen. "Although your face has calmed down, let me twist it." Thinking like this, Lin Feng raised his hand and twisted it against Sister Wang's face. The soft skin that would be broken when you smashed it felt very good. Sister Wang turned to look at Lin Feng, her beautiful face was covered with a sullen look, and she said angrily, "You bastard, just bully your sister Wang. Could it be that my face wasn't calm enough just now?" Lin Feng said, "Not enough." Sister Wang said, "Enough is enough." Lin Feng said, "You didn't see your face just now, how do you know enough?" Sister Wang was stunned for a moment, and after a while, Fan raised her fist and punched Lin Feng a few times. "You bastard, even if I didn't see my face, I knew that my face was calm enough, it was only today. It's the first day of your break, I understand your mood very well, but what I want to ask you now is, do you really want to keep this state for a while longer?" Lin Feng said, "Even if it lasts for 3 days, it will be enough for me to suffer." "Sister Wang, don't always threaten me with this. Every time I hear you say that, I will be frightened. Then be honest." Sister Wang got up and walked towards the stairs, probably because her trousers were a little tight. Sister Wang's buttocks looked big and full. Lin Feng stared at Sister Wang's wonderful back until she went up the stairs. He said to himself, if the body of a superb beauty stays idle, it would be a waste of resources. I don't know what your husband thinks. You are divorced, why not continue to use you? The automatic update set by Lin Feng is at 8:30 in the morning. It has passed 8:30, but there are no new chapters. Those readers who will open the book at the first time of Lin Feng's update are already a little puzzled, so been on time for a long time, what happened today? Perhaps it is the reason of the system, and the enthusiastic readers are completely tolerable for some bugs that may appear in the system. 10 minutes have passed, and some readers are not very calm, and have begun to leave messages in the book review area to ask why they are 10 minutes late. 20 minutes have passed, and more readers have left messages to ask questions. Some readers with hot temper have come to their tempers and left a message in the book review area to ask him what kind of plane he is doing. Half an hour has passed, Lin Feng's book pages still have no new chapters, and the book review area is already frying. Update soon, still waiting to see. Every day will open your book at the first time of your update. Didn't you say that it will never be interrupted, and that it will never be beaten by thunder and rain? What happened today? Mu Feng, can't you write your book anymore? Is it going to be over all of a sudden? Mu Feng, you shouldn't be such a person, don't hurt the hearts of your readers, otherwise it will be a huge loss for you. Some messages are irritable, some are rational, and gradually, there are also many abusive messages. Some are Lin Feng's enthusiastic readers, some are coaxing people, and the situation is getting more and more anxious. At this time, Sister Wang is reading Lin Feng's book pages in her bedroom, with a light smile on the corner of her mouth. She said in her heart, Lin Feng, it seems that you have a lot of enthusiasm. Reader, it looks like your book has been really successful. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 335. Ye Ziyi and Hongying are gathering with a few friends in a high-end clubhouse. Two of them are good friends with Ye Ziyi, and the others are friends on the scene. There was a notebook on Ye Ziyi's lap, and she was reading Lin Feng's pages. She was very surprised by the hot scene. She thought that readers would have a strong reaction in the evening, but she didn't expect it to be so enthusiastic in less than an hour. Hongying is also watching. Although Lin Feng is engaged in an industry that she has never touched before, she has no understanding of this industry before she knows Lin Feng, but at this time, she is not aware of the network writers or even the network readers. Full of curiosity, there is a need for any industry that needs it, because people will issue the most correct instructions for themselves, and if they need it, they will show it. Some people need to play golf, some people need to race cars, some people need to travel around the world, some people need to drink tea and smoke, and some people need to read online novels. Some of the people who read online novels are very rich, some are struggling, some have wives and children, some are on the road of chasing love, some is the norm, and some are still young. Leaf, what are you doing? Yeah, we are talking to you, can you be more serious? Yeah, are you in love? Seeing your soulless appearance, are you thinking of a man? If you really have a boyfriend, you must bring it for us to meet. The friends around are either rich or expensive, and no one would have thought that Ye Ziyi was very devoted to reading the novel page of an online writer, and that online writer was already her friend. Ye didn't let these friends see Lin Feng's novel pages. She closed the notebook and said with a smile, Miss Ben isn't in love yet. I don't even know when in my life he will appear on the colorful clouds. There are many men in the circle who have chased Ye, but no one has really been Ye's boyfriend. Even if it is superficially ambiguous, he has never played it. Ye has always been a role in the circle that can't be played from afar, let alone teasing. She didn't dare to say it lightly, even if it was a little sarcastic. I heard Ye Ziyi mention colorful auspicious clouds just now, and the men around me who expressed their admiration for Yezi were very ashamed. They have no problem driving luxury cars, and one of them bought a private jet for their family, but none of them have ever stepped on the colorful clouds. One of the rich and young reminded Yezi to be realistic, and Yeye replied, "Even if I am realistic, I don't like you. In fact, I have always been realistic, but I still ignore you all the time." This rich man who was despised by Yeye in front of everyone had no temper at all. Or maybe he is used to it, because he has been despised by Yezi several times before, and he has been slapped by Yezi, and the contempt just now seems to be nothing. Yeye didn't know what her future boyfriend would look like. Her father, Ye Chen, did a good job and never interfered with her personal relationship issues. "I just want to remind you occasionally, Yezi, you are not too young. Find a decent boyfriend as soon as possible and bring it back for me to take a look. No matter what his seniority is, I will pave the way for him." Ye Qingchen's wealth is in the billions. There will be more in the days to come. According to the current development trend of Hengtu Company, it is only a matter of time before Ye Qingchen's wealth exceeds 10 billion. But he doesn't have a son, only one daughter, Yezi. All the wealth he created will be left to Yezi in the future. If Yezi's future husband is a very unreliable person, it will be very scary. The family's property and Yeye come together, which is undoubtedly a disaster for Yeye. One night 2 years ago, Ye Qingchen said this to Yezi: "If there is a very capable and reliable man who loves you, even if his family background is average, you can consider developing with him, and then convince him to join us. Ye family, you can achieve this goal by promising him a bright future." At that time, Yezi was very disapproving and said impatiently that, with our wealth and status, if you really want to find a son-in-law, it is very easy. If you send this kind of news to a well-reputed website, it is estimated that you will sign up and respond within 1 day. There will be tens of thousands of people, but I'm almost certain that none of these people I like. Since then, Ye Qingchen has never discussed this issue with Yezi formally again. He also believes that his daughter, who is beautiful, graceful, and elegant, is definitely very popular. But one thing is almost certain, that is, Lin Feng is not suitable to be Yezi's boyfriend, but Lin Feng is very suitable to maintain a lover relationship with Hong Ying, but the boy has not given Hong Ying an answer. Lin Feng didn't dare to read the pages of the novel, but after another hour or so, he couldn't bear it anymore. Even if he saw a very unbearable scene, he had to take a look. Lin Feng arrived at the room where he lived, turned on the computer, and his heartbeat was much faster than before. He first lit a cigarette and took 2 puffs before opening the page of the novel. There are already hundreds of more inquiries, suspicions, and insults in the book review area. The popularity is far beyond his imagination. He is very depressed and moved. His readers are enthusiastic enough about this novel, which is even more so. It firmly confirmed Lin Feng's decision to write this long and wonderful book. It is a pity that the current state of anxiety will last for 3 days. Lin Feng is very afraid of receiving a call from the beauty editor, but he hopes that the beauty editor can call him immediately. Hearing the knock on the door, Lin Feng walked over and opened the door. The charming Sister Wang gave Lin Feng a light but intoxicated smile. "What do you want to eat at noon?" Lin Feng pondered for a moment, then pulled Sister Wang closer to his room. Sister Wang was frightened, and cried out, angrily, "What do you want to do, bastard?" Lin Feng hugged Sister Wang's slender and plump body, kissed her charming face, and said with a different smile, "Actually, you didn't want to ask me what I was eating, you just wanted to see what I was doing." Sister Wang was very nervous, but her face was very ruddy, and she said in a trembling voice, "Let go of me, you are holding me too tightly." Lin Feng hugged so tightly that Sister Wang's towering chest was almost flattened by his solid chest. Hearing Sister Wang's reminder, the feeling of softness became even more real. Another minute later, Lin Feng let go of Sister Wang, and sat down on the sofa a little lonely. If you take a look at my book pages, you will know that my readers have already exploded. I am very guilty, I really want to upload new stories. Chapter. Sister Wang said, actually, since you usually set the time for automatic updates, I have been observing your pages. Sister Wang is not a cold-blooded woman. Although I have known each other for a short time, I have never thought about seeing you. At the same time, Yezi and Hongying never thought of watching your jokes, although you are not from our circle, but since we have become friends, we are very concerned about you. Lin Feng didn't expect that a charming woman like Sister Wang would say these words to him, which made his mood more complicated. His current state cannot be described as lonely or moved. The empty place shouted a few times, but it was not empty, nor was he facing the mountains and the sea. He was facing a charming woman, and he could not shout casually. Sister Wang sat next to Lin Feng and smiled, although you always make me angry, I think you are a very interesting person. Lin Feng said, is it more interesting than your previous husband? Sister Wang's expression changed suddenly, and she said coldly, what's the matter with you? I wanted to have a good chat with you for a while. What are you talking about? It's really annoying. Sister Wang's round buttocks twisted hard and walked out quickly. Only then did Lin Feng realize that what he said casually just now touched Sister Wang's sore spot. Lin Feng was very curious, what kind of man was that man, and why was that man willing to abandon such a wonderful woman as Sister Wang? Sister Wang's heart was aching, and she was crying when she was cooking. When Lin Feng appeared in the kitchen, she saw tears winding down her delicate and charming face. Sister Wang was distracted, and she didn't notice Lin Feng when she walked in, but the dishes in the frying pan were not mushy. When Lin Feng approached Sister Wang noticed and sniffed her nose to stop the tears, but the tears were still on her face. How did you get in? I see if you are crying, but you are. A woman as beautiful and charming as you is the most delicious when crying, Lin Feng said. You're perverted. I wasn't perverted originally, but seeing the way you are now, it's a little perverted, Lin Feng said. You little bastard. Sister Wang raised her slender legs and kicked Lin Feng's legs. It was not very heavy, but Lin Feng's body staggered violently and almost fell to the ground. Sister Wang immediately reached out and covered her mouth. After a while, she said with guilt, I'm sorry, I forgot that you have injuries on your body. Lin Feng said, it doesn't matter, let's cook the vegetables quickly, otherwise it will really be mushy. Your craftsmanship is so good, I'm still waiting to taste your craftsmanship, don't bring mushy vegetables to the table. Oh. Sister Wang started cooking again. Lin Feng wanted to hug Sister Wang from behind and feel the smell of her round buttocks, but Sister Wang was in a bad mood at this time, so he didn't plan to add fuel to the fire. Lin Feng stared at Sister Wang's hot back for a few seconds before exiting the kitchen and sitting on the sofa in the living room to watch TV. Although the editor-in-chief hadn't called, he had already started to consider, if the editor-in-chief came over, how should he answer the phone? He has thought of several rhetoric, but each of them is not very suitable in his opinion. Only telling the truth is the most suitable, because it represents candor, but sometimes if a person is too candid, he will pay for the price. Lin Feng obviously couldn't tell the truth to the beauty editor. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 336. Sister Wang put the dishes on the table and smiled. Lin Feng, do you want to drink? What Lin Feng wanted most at this time was to use wine to relieve his worries. What he was afraid of was that Sister Wang would not give him a drink. Hearing what Sister Wang said just now, he was very excited. He stared at Sister Wang's beautiful face for a moment before saying, Sister Wang, you really are a woman with a lot of life experience. You are too distressed. Thank you for letting me drink. Oh, I should say thank you for drinking with me. Sister Wang said with a relieved smile, your boy's mouth seems to be oiled, it's too slippery, I just want to have a drink with you, you are even involved in life experience, it seems that it has nothing to do with it. Lin Feng said, but you are a past person after all. I should learn from you in many aspects. Although what he said just now did not mean that, but Sister Wang still heard a little teasing from his words, and when she went to get the wine, she was thinking, what do you want you to teach you, you little bastard, do you want me to teach you? Kung Fu in bed, you'd better not be too evil to me, be careful what I sue you. At this time, Sister Wang's thoughts were even more moist than Lin Feng's, but her beautiful face looked so calm and her eyes were so warm, as if she took everything lightly, including matters between men and women. What Sister Wang brought over was a bottle of Fishan Mutai, poured it into 2 jade wine cups, and said with a smile, Lin Feng, touch one. Lin Feng and Sister Wang clinked glasses and sigh softly, the enthusiasm of the readers has exceeded my imagination, but unfortunately, I can't update them in time. Sister Wang said, I am also surprised by the enthusiasm of your readers. I guess you will be when this book is finished. Oh, yes. How long do you plan to write this book? Lin Feng said, according to the editor-in-chief of The Beauty, I want me to write 8 million words, but I am a person who doesn't like to pour water. It is difficult to write 8 million words, but more than 6 million words is necessary. Sister Wang wondered, you have so many things to write. Lin Feng said, in order to be able to eat, you have to enrich yourself. If you can tell your story, maybe I can use it too. There was a trace of sadness on Sister Wang's beautiful face. He smiled and said, what's my story? Lin Feng said, it's the story of you and your ex-husband. Sister Wang said, these seem to be too realistic, and the tone of the novel you are writing is different. If you write these things into the book, I am afraid it will destroy the reader's mood to read the book. The reality is already cruel, and the reader can't read the book. Is it just to relax? If the books you read are cruel, will you still live? Lin Feng said, actually, there are a lot of realistic things in my book. It's just artistically processed. Some people think that online novels are the least artistic thing, but as a creator of online novels, I can say, if it is an online novel written with heart, it is a very artistic thing, and a thing with millions of words cannot be completed by just writing some essays or describing some seemingly profound stories. Ideas. Sister Wang smiled and said, so the industry you are engaged in is a kind of creation. Lin Feng nodded and said, Sister Wang, I like you so much. The industry I work in is a kind of creation. Sister Wang was stunned, she was embarrassed. He said sullenly, what did you little just say? Lin Feng clearly remembered that he just said, Sister Wang, I like you too much, he smiled relievedly, the like I said just now is not the kind of like that is ambiguous, but that I like talking to you very much, and how I treat you as a person. And the character is fully recognized. She was a little angry at first, but after hearing Lin Feng's explanation, Sister Wang felt much more comfortable, she smiled and said, the time you have been in contact with me is still too short, so it's still a little bit for you to comment on my character and character. Early, even if you are curious about the past of me and my ex-husband, I will not say it easily, because that is my privacy, and it is not me who hit you. Now the relationship between your boy and me has not reached the point I want to tell your privacy. Lin Feng was indeed hit slightly, but he was relieved quickly, his relationship with Sister Wang was indeed not that level. Maybe one day in the future, Sister Wang will lie in his arms and confide to him with tears, maybe the scene will not happen. Lin Feng and Sister Wang touched glasses a few more times. He had a little taste for wine, and Sister Wang's beautiful face was also covered with wine red. If they hugged and kissed at this time, it would be quite emotional, just as he was brewing. At that time, the phone rang, and it was Wen Qing, the editor-in-chief of The Beauty, who was not sick. Lin Feng said, my beauty editor-in-chief has called. Sister Wang said, since it's your editor-in-chief and a beauty, then hurry up and pick it up. Lin Feng has emphasized to Sister Wang several times that his editor-in-chief is a beautiful woman, and Sister Wang also believes that the woman whose online name is Wenqing is not sick is very beautiful. Lin Feng picked it up and smiled, Wenqing, I wanted to call you, but your call came. Ai Wendao, give me a reason, why do you stop changing? Are you dissatisfied with the price the company gave you or are there other reasons? Lin Feng said, don't misunderstand, and don't let other SSS in the company misunderstand, I just raised the price to 1,000 words and 100 not long ago, I have no opinion on the current price, it is because of me, I sick. He thought of several rhetoric, but in the end he came up with a reason to hold back so much. Fortunately, he didn't use the family accident as the reason, otherwise he would be too sorry for his parents. Ai Wen said with concern, are you sick? Is it serious? Where is it uncomfortable? Lin Feng said, I have a high fever and my head hurts. I have already gone to the hospital. The doctor said there is no major problem. It will be fine in 2 or 3 days. Ai Wen said, really, why didn't you pay attention? Oh, where did your previous manuscripts go? You told me when we ate together last time that you will always keep manuscripts for about a week. This kind of thing will never happen to you. Lin Feng had indeed said something like this before, and the editor-in-chief of the Beauty was almost repeating his original words just now, which made him quite embarrassed. Lin Feng said, as you can see, the amount of updates some time ago was very large, and the manuscripts were all used up. Because my book is relatively long, the idea of new plots is not as smooth as before, so I am full of writing. No, but don't worry, I'll add more when my body gets better. Ai Wendao, actually, I called you to find out what's going on. Since you are sick, you should rest well. Your body is the most important thing for a person. Oh, I have nothing to do after get off work today. Why don't I go and see you? I haven't been to your place yet, so I just went to see your nest. Lin Feng's scalp was a little numb, and he said embarrassedly, forget it, you don't have to come to see me, my house is too messy, I'm afraid you won't have a place to stay when you come, and the smell of smelly socks may even disgust you. Ai Wen said, I'm not embarrassed, what are you afraid of? Our relationship is very innocent, we are friends, and at the same time I am your editor-in-chief, it is necessary to be responsible for you, if I really smell the smell of stinky socks, I'll save you some face, I won't ridicule you in person, but you can clean up before I get to your house, don't let me see any smelly socks, underwear. Although there was a little ambiguity in the past, the relationship between Lin Feng and Ai Wen is indeed very innocent. Lin Feng has not had many evil thoughts about Ai Wen. Even when he is stimulated by Ai Wen's charming style, his evil is still there. Limits, and Ai Wen is not a woman who messes with men casually. Lin Feng said, you really don't need to come to see me, otherwise I will be very embarrassed. Ai Wen said, are you afraid that your girlfriend will misunderstand? Oh, have you found a new girlfriend? Lin Feng followed Ai Wen's meaning and said, Wenqing, you are really amazing. I just started a new relationship a few days ago, so you guessed it. Ai Wen was silent for a moment and smiled relievedly, I didn't want to expose you, but I suddenly thought it was very fun to expose you. I heard your boy and I talk with confidence, and there is no smell of being sick at all. You are not busy with your daughter. Friends don't care about coding, right? Lin Feng said, of course not, I'm really sick, I should write more properly when I have a girlfriend, after all love requires money, it's a sin for a man to disappoint his girlfriend, I'm slow in typing, my girlfriend would hit me on the head with her fingers. Ai Wen laughed, no matter what happened to you, I will give you a maximum of 3 days of leave, after these 3 days you must resume the update, otherwise not only me, but also the editor-in-chief and general manager of the company will treat you kid. For those who have opinions, good books are one aspect. As a contracted author of the company, character is more important. When mentioned personality just now, Lin Feng felt very uncomfortable. He took his coding career very seriously, but Wen was already a little suspicious of his attitude. Fortunately, Wen gave him a 3-day deadline, which coincided with the time when he could resume the update. If it was given 2 days, he would be unspeakably depressed. Wen is not a person who easily wears small shoes. Wen has always lived a magnanimous life, but Lin Feng really does not want to leave a bad impression on Wen. The call finally ended, and Lin Feng didn't have to continue to make things up against Wen, but he also knew that Wen's analysis for a while could rule out the possibility that he stopped because of illness. Sister Wang smiled and said, "The company you signed with really respects you. But it's nothing, you will be able to resume updates soon. If you add updates, your readers will be crazy, and your company will know more about it. What kind of person are you? Let's eat some more food. Just now you only care about drinking, and you didn't eat much food." Lin Feng is no longer in the mood to eat, but Sister Wang is so enthusiastic, he can't live up to the kindness of Sister Wang, he can only eat a few mouthfuls of food slowly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 337. After eating and returning to his room, Lin Feng couldn't bear to open the pages of the book and lay down on the bed after listening to a few songs. Sister Wang saw it. From morning to now, Lin Feng's book review area has nearly 1,000 messages, urging, asking, insulting, and all kinds of arguments. Although I don't know why Lin Feng stopped updating, but some readers still expressed their understanding and believed that the author of online novels is also a human being, not a machine, and something may happen to a human being. Among them, the proportion of abusive messages is increasing. Even if Sister Wang is not in this circle, she can see that some of the abusive messages must be causing trouble. It is estimated that some authors who compete with Lin Feng are doing it. Sister Wang was delighted to discover that there was a new chapter in Lin Feng's book. It was a notice saying that Lin Feng took 3 days off due to illness, and he would add more when he got better, and make up for the chapters he owed for the 3 days. Readers began to comment on this. Some wished Lin Feng to get better soon, some told Lin Feng not to be too tired to take care of his body, and some were very provocative. "Why don't you say you're disabled?" Sister Wang watched it for about half an hour, smiled and shook her head and closed Lin Feng's book page. There are intrigue in any industry. Only when competition disappears, everything will calm down, but if there is no competition, there will be no development. Motivation. When Sister Wang got up, she opened her arms and made 2 stretching movements. Her towering chest bulged forward twice. If Lin Feng saw it, she would definitely be strongly stimulated. Sister Wang's chest was already bigger, if it surged forward again. That's even more provocative. Lin Feng fell asleep and was typing in his dreams. His hands seemed to really move. When the phone rang, he woke up. When he saw that the call was Dinan, he showed a relieved smile. "Dinan, how is the shop's business today?" "It's okay, the turnover is almost breaking through 1,000 now." "Oh, you boy is still in the mood to think about the turnover of the store. I'm afraid you are asking that to take care of my emotions." "My emotions don't seem to require you to do anything." "Take care of you, but you need me to take care of your emotions. I see that your book is broken, and your readers are very emotional. You won't have collapsed, will you?" "I'm okay, I haven't collapsed yet, I'm lying on the soft big bed in Ye's private villa, and counting today. I haven't typed for 8 days. I don't know what it will be when I face the document again and type on the keyboard. What state of mind, I am afraid that my inspiration will suddenly disappear, Lin Feng said. If your inspiration really goes away, I'll give you inspiration and you can do whatever you want me to do then. If I have to do that, you will have enough inspiration. Are you willing to take off your pants and let me go? Lin Feng said. If you have to get inspired by me, then get on me. Even if I donate my body, I can't let your inspiration disappear. Oh, I think if you give me the beautiful bamboo then it will be more inspirational. The beautiful Zook is still a first daughter. As soon as you broke into her body, she screamed in pain, and when you heard her cry, you would be extra inspired. I was just joking just now. Oh, by the way, how is the beauty bamboo feeling now? Lin Feng asked. First Li Yang and Li Xingguo were injured because of her, and then you were injured because of her. How do you think her mood will be better? You tell her that after using the magical trauma medicine in Yezi's hand, my injury has healed a lot. I will go back in 2 days, and it will be completely healed when I go back. You tell her not to worry about me, don't always worry that there will be troublemakers in the future, just deal with whatever happens, Lin Feng said. I'll tell her what you said. Maybe the beautiful bamboo is ready to be your girlfriend. When you come back, she will give you a surprise. King Zhu personally said that she would not give me an answer until she came back from Qiushan town in Shu province. She would go back after the summer vacation in a few days. I don't know how long she will stay there, Lin Feng said. Dainan is also not clear about this. She has already asked. At that time, Tian Qingzu said that he wanted to spend more time with his father when he went back this time. He was usually alone and was very lonely. It was estimated that it would take at least a month, maybe the whole summer vacation. Staying in Qiushan town, Shu province, I will definitely come back before school starts. When the school starts again, Tian Qingzu is a senior student, and the courses are much less, but there are many other things to face. Some students have already started looking for jobs at this time, but Tian Qingzu doesn't have to worry about work. There are 2 paths in front of her. The first is to stay at Beijing Normal University, the second is to return to Qiushan town, Shu province. Teach. Night. The red shadow came, but the leaves did not come. The black silk in the short skirt made Hongying extremely hot and unrestrained. Lin Feng saw the towering breasts, the slender legs, and the radio waves released from Hongying's beautiful eyes. The injury on her body is not yet easy, but Lin Feng's body is very tall and straight. Sister Wang is not in the living room. Sitting on the sofa, Lin Feng and Hongying are a lot more casual. Seeing that Lin Feng wants to hug her, Hongying does not dodge, just charmingly smiled. Lin Feng took Hongying into his arms and stretched out his hands towards her pair of towering breasts, first stroking through the short skirt, and then quickly reaching into the chest photo from the neckline and stroking. Crispy, warm, and elastic, experiencing that kind of ecstasy, Lin Feng smiled and said, "What show is there tonight?" Hongying said, "You kid hasn't promised to be my lover yet, but you are already intoxicated by the programs I arranged for you. You think, you are not my lover yet, what qualifications do you have to enjoy these programs?" Lin Feng said, "But you already let me enjoy it before." Hongying said, "You should think that I gave you a little sweetness on purpose. Before you promised to maintain a lover relationship with me, there seems to be no exciting show. Oh, you should also take out your hand." Lin Feng will definitely not take the initiative to take out his hand. Stroking Hongying's chest makes him very happy, he still wants to be happy for a while. Hongying grabbed Lin Feng's hunting hand, forcibly dragged it out and threw it aside, got up and faced forward after walking for a walk, his round buttocks swayed against Lin Feng twice, and then he walked upstairs with graceful steps. Hook him up. Torment him. At the same time, Hong Ying is also waiting for his reply. If he says to Hong Ying now, "I agree to maintain a lover relationship with you," I am afraid that he can take off Hong Ying's trousers and do warm things. But Lin Feng will not make hasty decisions in order to make this happy feeling come as soon as possible. He must think clearly about this issue. When Lin Feng watched a movie alone in his room, it was midnight, and Hong Ying did not appear in his room. Lin Feng felt that Hong Ying should be wearing a thin night dress at this time. Maybe the night dress just passed her thighs, and she didn't even wear panties. The soft and moist part was exposed to the air. Would you like to take a look at Hong Ying's room? If he showed this eagerness and gave a negative answer 2 days later, Hong Ying's resentment towards him would be deeper, which is definitely not a good thing. Forget it. In this case, lying on the bed and calming down is the kingly way. Lin Feng took a shower and then lay on the bed. He quickly thought of a more serious problem. His legs were still a little sore when he was taking a bath just now. Hong Ying should have used that magical trauma medicine for him again. Lin Feng sat up and wanted to ask Hong Ying to come over and give him medicine, but if he really wanted to give him medicine, Hong Ying would come over by himself. When he lay down again, the door opened and Hong Ying walked in. She was really wearing a thin night dress that just missed her thighs, but in Lin Feng's imagination, Hong Ying was not wearing shorts, but at this time, Hong Ying was wearing shorts. Hong Ying sighed softly, "You really has a personality, don't you know that your injury is not in good shape yet?" "No." "Then why didn't you remind me to give you the medicine?" Hong Ying said angrily. "I thought it annoyed you, and you don't want to give me medicine. You think I'm a woman with a small belly. Did you frighten a woman with a small belly before, so you are also afraid that I am a woman with a small belly? Tell you, I'm a very tolerant woman. If you think I'm advertised as myself, then I'll screw your head off." Pretty domineering. Stand up for yourself without letting others doubt it. The red shadow wearing a thin night dress expresses her style most vividly. Lin Feng's mouth had a light smile. "I believe that you will be a very generous woman, and I also believe that you will be a very tolerant woman." Hong Ying sat on the edge of the bed, and her slender legs were more exposed. Lin Feng had already seen the traces of Hong Ying's trousers. The outline was very irritating, but Lin Feng's hand did not immediately turn towards Hong Ying. "Touch the panties." Hong Ying said, "You only have a pair of trousers all over your body, but you don't need to take them off. I'm going to give you medicine. It's better for your hands to be honest." Lin Feng smiled and nodded, but he was convinced that his hands would definitely not be able to be honest in the face of the red shadow that was about to show from his trousers. Hong Ying kept rubbing the potion on Lin Feng's wounds. The coolness was soft, Lin Feng was very comfortable, and the heart of eating tofu became stronger and stronger. Lin Feng's hand fell on Hong Ying's thigh. Ying said, "If you find this position comfortable, then put your hand on my thigh." Lin Feng's hand quickly touched Hong Ying's thigh, and Hong Ying said, "If you feel comfortable touching my thigh, then touch it for a while." Lin Feng stretched out her hand towards Hong Ying's trousers and pressed it on her trousers. Hong Ying's expression was not as natural as before, and said, "If you feel comfortable putting your hand on my trousers, then leave it alone." Lin Feng's hand squeezed into Hong Ying's trousers from the side, and touched the moist softness. Hong Ying's hand that was applying the potion to Lin Feng stopped, looked at Lin Feng coldly, and after a while, did something to his face. After 2 fake slaps, he grabbed his hand and took it out for him. "You're a bit of a jerk, you me off, so I don't want to put potions on your legs." Seeing that Hong Ying was going to leave, Lin Feng said, "You leave the potion. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for a recommendation ticket and a monthly ticket. Your support is my greatest the motivation of the mobile phone users. Please go to to read." Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 338. Hong Ying stopped in her footsteps, turned around and blinked at Lin Feng, stuck her tongue out, and then took the potion away. Lin Feng blew a sigh of relief against the ceiling, and believed even more that Hong Ying was a very attractive and tormenting person. If he really made Hong Ying his lover, maybe they would be able to put on a few good plays. But what was the price he paid? Does he just need to be comfortable? When he slapped Hong Ying's hot and unrestrained body many times, he didn't need to pay any price. It's a bit impossible to think of, Lin Feng continued to ponder. Hong Ying wants to maintain a lover relationship with him. In addition to enjoying the passion between men and women, what other purposes are there? Morning. When Lin Feng practiced in the courtyard of the villa for more than an hour, Sister Wang made a breakfast. When Lin Feng was practicing kung fu, he really wanted Hong Ying and Sister Wang to appreciate it, but neither Hong Ying nor Sister Wang came out to see it, which made his thought of wanting to be stunned in vain. After having breakfast together, Hong Ying went to Hung to company to find Ye, and Lin Feng and Sister Wang were left in this luxurious villa. Lin Feng was sitting on the sofa in the living room watching TV. Sister Wang cleaned the room, watered the flowers and bonsai, and sat beside Lin Feng. She smiled and said, "Can I change the channel? There is a beauty program that will start soon." Lin Feng said, "Whatever." Sister Wang changed the platform, smiled and said, "I read your book review section before making breakfast. From the point where you stopped updating to that point, 1,238 new book reviews were added, of which more than 500 were suspected of making a fuss." Lin Feng said, "Actually, our circle is also very chaotic. In any circle, there will be some strange people and things. Everything is made by people. If people are strange, they may do strange things. I want to thank you. You care about my book, you care about my book, you care about me, and my heart is very warm to have you, a charming sister who cares about me." Lin Feng didn't use any provocative words just now, but Sister Wang still heard the provocative taste. Perhaps the charming voice Lin Feng said was just describing her appearance, but she still classified it as provocative. Since being teased, always have to say something. Sister Wang's red lips moved for a moment, and she hummed, "Don't feel too good about yourself, kid, I don't really care about you that much." Lin Feng said, "But I feel it." Sister Wang said, "Maybe it's an illusion." Lin Feng said, "It's not an illusion. Have you already regarded me as your younger brother in your heart?" Sister Wang's face was a little embarrassed, because when she was lying in bed last night, she really thought that if she could have a younger brother like Lin Feng, she would be very happy. Sister Wang said, "I don't mind letting you be my younger brother. I think it is very dangerous for me to have a younger brother like you who is not related by blood. If there is no blood relationship between a pair of siblings, I usually do nothing good will come." Lin Feng lit a cigarette and let out a breath of smoke in the direction of Sister Wang's towering chest, which made Sister Wang's charm a little blurred. He smiled and said, "Your thinking just now was a little impure. It shouldn't be. You don't hate it, my thoughts are not pure. The situation I just said happens almost every day in real life. I'm too lazy to care about you." Sister Wang gouged out Lin Feng, got up and walked towards the stairs with graceful steps. The round buttocks swaying is really good looking. 3 in the afternoon. From Lin Feng's break to the present, there have been 1,586 more book reviews. Among them, the website has deleted dozens of abusive book reviews, and many troubled readers have been banned. People who jump up and down are always so annoying. Lin Feng couldn't bear to watch it, but he still spent almost an hour watching it, and at the same time, he was also thinking about which authors might be blackmailing him. The door opened and Ye walked in. Ye, who was dressed in sportswear, was noble and delicate and full of dynamism. Whenever he wore sportswear made of this material, Ye's body would be extraordinarily textured. Her are already full, the sportswear made of this material will make her look fuller. Her hips are already big enough, and the sportswear of this material will make her hips look bigger and more upturned. The leaves are very hot. The leaves are very moist. The leaves brought him into a very wonderful mood again. Lin Feng said with a smile, "This is the third time you have broken into this room without knocking on the door. Even if this is your private villa, you should pay attention. You can easily see my body when you suddenly break in like this. If you see it, whose loss is it?" Yes answer was very straightforward, "The loss is yours. I rely on. You give me another one. I rely on, I rely on, I rely on, I rely on non-stop. Do you have an opinion?" Lin Feng smiled. Within less than a minute of walking in, Ye was stimulated to be tender on the outside and tender on the inside. Unable to bear, she finally lifted her slender legs and kicked Lin Feng, aiming at Lin Feng's thing. This kick is very tricky and evil, and Lin Feng has a lingering fear in the moment he avoided it. If the attack was successful just now, I am afraid that his thing will not be able to be used in the future, and he will not have to consider whether to maintain a lover relationship with Hong Ying. Hong Ying will never let a man who can't use that thing be her lover. Seeing Ye's legs swept towards him again, Lin Feng grabbed her calf and then twisted her thigh. When Ye made a cry, Lin Feng wrapped her graceful waist around her. The moment he turned briskly, he sat on the sofa, and then put the leaf on his lap. When Ye's buttocks sat down on Lin Feng's lap, he felt his uprightness. There was no doubt that Ye's soft and elastic buttocks were pushed by Lin Feng. "You have to release me in a minute." "Fine." Lin Feng's body was pushed up, Ye said again, his face was drunk red, and his eyes were full of anger. Lin Feng nodded several times in a row, and Ye screamed several times in a row. It was no longer as simple as blushing, and tears flowed out. Lin Feng picked up the leaf and put her on the sofa to prevent the leaf from attacking. He stood a little farther and said in his heart, "I didn't take off your pants or your pants, and my body did not match yours. Linked together, I just pushed it a few times, and you cried. Do you know what the consequences of teasing me are? As you can see, I'm already very miserable. Counting today, my novels have been interrupted for 2 days. If you continue to aggravate my punishment, then I will not be able to get along. It is not ruled out that I will fight back." Lin Feng said. "Do you think I'd be afraid of you? You are definitely not afraid of me, but I have never been afraid of you. Although I can't offend you, I am not afraid of you," Lin Feng said. "You are very strong," Ye smiled. "You don't even have any backbone, how can you sleep with a woman?" Lin Feng said, "Actually, what I meant just now was that you don't even have any backbone. Are you still a man?" Ye's smile was brighter than before, and the tears on her beautiful face were still there, but she didn't realize that there were still tears on her face. Ye said, "The question you need to consider now is whether you want to maintain a lover relationship with Hong Ying. From this level or in terms of friendship, you shouldn't eat my tofu. Say it, you have been teasing. How many times have I have forgiven you almost every time, is it not interesting?" Lin Feng sat next to Ye and said with a smile, "I know you are very interesting to me, but some things are still confusing." Ye said, "Let's talk about Hong Ying. In fact, by this time next year, I am afraid that Hong Ying will not be by my side." Lin Feng was very surprised. Ye and Hong Ying had never told him this before. He wondered, where is Hong Ying going? Yezideo, she is going to Bangkok, Thailand, to return to her master. Her master's health is getting worse every day, and there is no one around to serve her. Hong Ying is a person who repays her gratitude. Her master treats her very well. She wants to go over and do a filial piety. After she leaves, I don't know if she will come back. Maybe she will come here for a trip. Hong Ying likes you very much, or she loves you very much, sometimes even herself. I can't believe why I fell in love with you, but she did fall in love with you, but she also knew that she would have nothing to do with you, so she wanted to maintain a relationship with you for a period of time, even if there was no result. After all, I once owned it, and I won't regret it when I look back on it later. This situation was indeed something Lin Feng never expected. Although he and Hong Ying were not lovers yet, he was already a little stunned, and after a while he sighed lightly. I said, there must be a hidden relationship, and indeed there is a hidden relationship. Ah, if I become a lover with her, after she is gone, I will only miss her. Yazideo, the rest of her is missing. Lin Fengdeo, Hong Ying definitely doesn't want you to tell me this, she should have reminded you to keep it secret, right? Yazideo, she reminded me several times to keep it a secret, but I thought again and again that it would be unfair to you if you kept it a secret for her, and after a year she suddenly disappeared. You don't know where she went, even if it's just that your lover is not your girlfriend, and you will be in pain when that time comes, so I want you to prepare yourself mentally in advance. But what I'm more worried about is that you don't want to keep a lover with Hong Ying if you know this in advance. Related. Lin Feng said, I can fully imagine that when I and Hong Ying have been lovers for a year, I will miss her very much when she leaves. I know what it will be like. To tell you the truth, I am a little bit hesitated. Yazi was very excited. He raised his right hand and grabbed Lin Feng's neck, pressing most of his body up. His towering chest squeezed Lin Feng's body, and said sharply, don't hesitate, I beg you, be a red shadow. Lover, Hong Ying and I are as close as sisters. I don't want her to be too sorry. She has never been in love before, nor has she ever had any man. You are the only man she has fallen in love with in her life. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 339. Lin Feng twisted Yezi's buttocks without much force. The leaves hurt a little, but there was no strong reaction, and he kept staring at Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng said, I think, before tomorrow night comes, I will think about this issue clearly. If I refuse, don't think I'm a selfish person, I'm just protecting myself. Yezi said, why don't you make a decision before tonight, so that my heart and Hong Ying's heart don't have to hang all the time? If you refuse, Hong Ying and I will definitely be disappointed, but we will not take revenge. Yours. Lin Feng said, give me a little more time, and I will be more likely to make the decision as you wish. If you are asked to make a decision before tonight, it will basically be negative, even if I agree to and before leaving this villa. Hong Ying maintains a lover relationship, and will not retaliate because I am afraid of you, because I know that you will not retaliate against me at all. Then you continue to think about it? It is necessary to remind you again that if you and Hong Ying become lovers, Hong Ying will make you very comfortable. Also, you are not allowed to code words before leaving here. Ye walked out. Eating Yezi's tofu just now made him feel a little refreshed, but the truth that Yezi said made him very tangled. Hong Ying, will you not come back after you return to Bangkok, Thailand this time next year? In fact, even if you don't come back, I can go to see you. I have never been to Thailand. I can travel to Bangkok, visit the attractions during the day, and sleep with you at night. However, at that time, the number of times I can see you will be very limited. You make me so comfortable if I stay in a romantic relationship with you. I will have a strong nostalgia for you, and it will be a torment for me after separation, which is similar to the feeling of broken love. When Sister Wang went to the kitchen to prepare dinner, Ye left and Hong Ying came. Hong Ying didn't know that Ye had told Lin Feng the truth. Her original intention was that even if she really became a lover with Lin Feng, she would not tell him the truth. It was time to leave when it was time to leave. This does not mean that Hong Ying is an irresponsible person. If you don't even have a sense of responsibility, Ye won't let her be a bodyguard, but Hong Ying thinks that this is the most appropriate way to deal with it, because then when she and Lin Feng are together, she doesn't have to always struggle with the question of whether to leave or not. If Lin Feng found out, he might chat with her about this issue at any time. So it's best not to let him know. The rose-red one-piece skirt and purple stockings made Hong Ying look like a hot girl. She walked gracefully to Lin Feng and sat down, smiling charmingly. Look at your melancholy appearance, I want to call you the Prince of Melancholy. From what I know about you, I think you are a very free and easy person. What makes you so melancholy? Is it because this is already the second day of your novel breaking? Lin Feng was actually thinking about Hong Ying's departure from Beijing to Bangkok, Thailand a year later, but Ye Zi reminded him that he didn't know anything and could never tell Hong Ying. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Isn't my novel worth my melancholy after 2 days off? I will be even more melancholy when my novel is cut off for the third day. At that time, even the melancholy prince will not be enough to describe me." Status. Hong Ying's hot body leaned on Lin Feng's body. She seemed to have an ambiguous heart to play with Lin Feng. She smiled and said, "You said this to me, wouldn't you want me to be open to the internet while supervising you, and let you now code late, right?" Lin Feng followed the meaning of Hong Ying. "If you let me code tonight, my impression of you will be better, and the possibility of me agreeing to maintain a lover relationship with you will be even greater." Hong Ying really wanted to maintain a lover relationship with Lin Feng, and was afraid that Lin Feng would reject her. What Lin Feng said just now was very tempting to her. She hesitated for a moment and said, "Let me think about it for 5 minutes." Lin Feng's heartbeat is faster than before. When he thinks of the code words, he will be very excited. If Hong Ying agrees, he will definitely code words tonight, at least 3,000 words. Chapters come. If you still feel unfinished, write 20,000 words. If she agrees with Lin Feng to code tonight, perhaps Lin Feng's impression of her will really be better, which is beneficial to her, but in this way, the task that Ye gave her is equivalent to failure. Lin Feng was successful without a word before leaving here. She couldn't ignore the task given to her by Ye Zi for her own benefit. She hasn't left yet, and she is still the person by Ye's side. Hong Ying said, "I'm sorry, I can't let you code tonight. Even if your impression of me is worse than before, there's nothing you can do." Hong Ying got up and walked upstairs. At that moment, Lin Feng found that there was something sparkling in Hong Ying's eyes, which should be tears. Lin Feng originally wanted to follow, but the moment he stood up, his footsteps froze. Seeing the graceful figure of Hong Ying disappearing from the living room, he sat on the sofa again. Hong Ying is a beautiful, hot, and attractive woman, and Hong Ying is very attractive to him. Sister Wang came out of the kitchen wearing an apron, and smiled. "Didn't Hong Ying come over? Where has she gone? Go and ask her to come downstairs to eat." "Okay." Lin Feng glanced at Sister Wang, who was wearing an apron, and then walked upstairs quickly. He found that Sister Wang, a charming woman, had a very special taste after wearing an apron, which made people wonder. She took off her apron and stroked her body. Lin Feng arrived outside the room where Hong Ying usually lived, opened the door without knocking, and saw that Hong Ying was staring at the computer in a daze. Hong Ying grabbed the wireless mouse and threw it at Lin Feng. Lin Feng caught the mouse, walked towards Hong Ying with a smile, put the mouse on the mouse pad, and twisted against Hong Ying's beautiful face. "I have enough temper." "Big, is it because I didn't knock on the door before I came in? You should have knocked on the door. Even if you are my lover, you should knock on the door before entering my room, not to mention that you are not my lover yet." Red Shadow Heart said, "Maybe your kid's final decision is negative. If you don't agree to keep a lover relationship with me, then I can only regret it alone. When it's time to leave the city, I have to leave." Lin Feng put his arms around Hong Ying's fragrant shoulders, put his hands on her full breasts, kissed her delicate face, and said with a smile, "Sister Wang asked me to tell you to go downstairs for dinner." Hong Ying felt a warm feeling and had no opinion on Lin Feng's behavior of eating tofu just now. He smiled and said, "But what should I do if I have no appetite?" "This, then you say, why do you have an appetite? If you feed me, then I will have an appetite." "No man has ever fed me before," Hong Ying said. "Okay, feeding you a meal isn't much physical work. Lin Feng agreed so happily. Hong Ying was a little surprised, smiled softly, his eyes released a moment of radio waves at Lin Feng, and then went downstairs with him to the restaurant. Sister Wang was sitting at the dining table, and when she saw Lin Feng and Hong Ying approaching, she asked, "Are you two drinking?" "Drink red wine, Sister Wang, bring a bottle of red wine from Lafite Manor," Hong Ying said. "Okay." Sister Wang went to get the red wine. Hong Ying looked at Lin Feng's face, smiled charmingly, and twisted her hot body. Lin Feng said, "Tell me, what color and style of trousers are you wearing today?" Hong Ying said, "You are really not a common nuisance, you will eat soon." "What are you doing with my pants? It will affect your appetite." Lin Feng said, "Your trousers are wonderful things. They won't affect my appetite, but will greatly increase my appetite." Hong Ying said angrily, "You're so disgusting, kid. Let me tell you, I'm wearing red lace pants, which are very narrow and will show if you're not careful, but I won't show it easily." The stimulation Lin Feng received is conceivable. His body is more upright than before, but he is unlikely to press Hong Ying on the dining table and pull off her panties, otherwise he will wait for Sister Wang to carry the products produced by Lafite Manor. Red wine will come and scream and then scold, "What are you two doing? Go upstairs if you want to do that, this is the restaurant, don't spill my cooking." Sister Wang came over with the red wine and the goblet, poured red wine into the 3 goblets, and smiled, "Drinking red wine with you two, I'm like a light bulb, you two ignore me." Lin Feng said, "Sister Wang, I will not ignore you." Hong Ying said, "Sister Wang, I will not ignore you. Your face is so beautiful, you are so big, and your legs are so slender. Even if you want to ignore you, it's hard to do it." Hong Ying basically said what Lin Feng was thinking. She said it on purpose, because she knew that Lin Feng was thinking that way. Sister Wang was very embarrassed. The crimson made her look more charming, and she complained, "Hong Ying, you mean it, teasing Sister Wang makes you very happy." Hong Ying smiled and said, "Sometimes it's fun to tease Sister Wang." "Oh, okay, let's touch one." After clinking glasses, everyone took a sip of red wine. The lips of Hong Ying and Sister Wang were extremely rosy, which made Lin Feng want to taste the two of them respectively. Different women have different tastes. He really wanted to taste one. Non-stop, but some women can taste it, and some women can't taste it casually, because some women belong to him, and some women do not belong to him. Lin Feng and Hong Ying looked back and forth. Although there was no intimacy, they were already ambiguous enough. Sister Wang speeded up and left after eating, not wanting to continue to be Lin Feng and Hong Ying's light bulb. If you were sitting in the living room watching TV, it might turn into a light bulb later, so Sister Wang simply went upstairs and went back to her room, so she didn't have to worry about suddenly turning into a light bulb. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 340. Lin Feng and Hong Ying drank red wine and chatted, and they talked about very ambiguous topics, including the woman's chest and the wet place, and later also mentioned the man's body. If Sister Wang heard this, she would not know how shy she would be. Although she was a divorced woman, she knew what happened to a man's body a long time ago, but Sister Wang was indeed a very shy woman. Shyness will make her more charming. Shyness makes her more attractive. Shyness will make her body moist like a stream. Lin Feng sat on the sofa in the living room and lit a cigarette. The moment Hong Ying sat down, he deliberately stared at Lin Feng's part and said with a smile, "You are already very hard, even harder than granite." Lin Feng said, "What you just described is not strong enough." It should be said that it is harder than steel. Hong Ying said, virtue. Lin Feng said, at this moment, both of us are rogues. Hong Ying said, when a hot-blooded man is alone with a hot and humid woman, it's hard not to be a hooligan, just do what you say. Lin Feng said, then let's do it. Hong Ying said, if you agree to maintain a lover relationship with me, do it immediately. I'm not afraid of pain. You can use as much strength as you want. Lin Feng said, I will tell you tomorrow night. Hong Ying said, why not tonight? Lin Feng said, because I haven't thought about it yet. Hong Ying was a little scared in her heart. If Lin Feng gave a negative answer tomorrow, it would be a loss for her. She had never experienced it, so it would be a loss. Everyone will have various losses. Not living in a villa is a kind of loss. Not riding a luxury car is a loss, not squatting in a ditch is a loss, not doing farm work is a loss. I haven't seen the world if I haven't seen top brand names, and I haven't seen the world if I haven't seen wild herbs. Hong Ying showed an indifferent look, and said leisurely, since you haven't thought about it yet, let's continue to think about it. I feel more and more that you are an asshole, what the hell? With a light smile on the corner of Lin Feng's mouth, he kept smoking. Hong Ying's fragrant shoulder slammed into Lin Feng's body hard. What do you most want to do now? Lin Feng said, I want you to give me a red massage. Hong Ying said, red style, let's talk about it after we become lovers. If you don't agree to maintain a lover relationship with me in the end, I'm afraid the red style will be out of the question. Lin Feng found that the red style massage that Hong Ying gave him at the beginning was equivalent to giving him a very tempting bait. Although he only ate it once, he was already addicted to it, because the red style massage made him too ecstatic. Hong Ying said, why don't we tease Sister Wang? Lin Feng said, you are so evil, a woman like Sister Wang, we can't always tease her. Hong Ying said, sometimes it's fun to tease her. Before you lived here, I didn't tease Sister Wang very much. After you lived here, I found it was fun to tease Sister Wang. Lin Feng said, how do you want to tease her? Hong Ying said her thoughts. Lin Feng's expression was a bit funny, and after a while, he said, isn't it a bit too cruel for us to perform in front of a charming woman like Sister Wang? Hong Ying said, not cruel. It's good, hurry up. Hong Ying took Lin Feng's hand and went upstairs. When she arrived at Sister Wang's door, Lin Feng didn't want to go in, but Hong Ying pushed open the door. Sister Wang, who was staring at the computer in a daze, immediately frowned and asked in confusion, what are you two doing? Hong Ying said, dance. Lin Feng said, yes, dance. Sister Wang said angrily, you two are too much, just go out and dance if you want to dance. Why did you come to my room to dance on purpose? Lin Feng and Hong Ying did not continue to say anything. They hugged and danced together in front of Sister Wang, and Hong Ying's towering chest touched Lin Feng's body from time to time. You two are too much. Sister Wang was so angry that she wanted to rush out the door, but Lin Feng and Hong Ying blocked the door while dancing. Even if Sister Wang doesn't want to see it, she has to watch it. Sister Wang was about to be mad with anger, but instead she became brave and said coldly, you two are simply unreasonable, don't you just want to show enthusiasm in front of me? Sister Wang, I have never seen any strong winds and waves. Are you excited? Sister Wang was already irritated, but she still said bold words, folded her arms around her chest, and put on a very provocative standing posture, staring at Lin Feng and Hong Ying. Lin Feng and Hong Ying's performance has risen to a new level. They are already kissing passionately, their tongues are entangled, and they even make a gurgling sound. 3 meters away, Sister Wang is like a charming sculpture, staring at Lin Feng and Hong Ying. Her face is calm without shyness. After the kiss, Lin Feng and Hong Ying obviously couldn't perform the part of taking off their pants in front of Sister Wang. Hong Ying didn't design this part at first, and the performance should end after the kiss. According to Hong Ying's original expectation, the shy and embarrassed Sister Wang would throw herself on the bed and cry, and then the task of comforting Sister Wang was Lin Feng's task. Lin Feng and Hong Ying were a little embarrassed to face Sister Wang, who was as calm as a sculpture. Lin Feng said, "Should we go out?" Hong Ying said, "What are you waiting for if you don't go out?" Lin Feng and Hong Ying slipped out, and Sister Wang said, "Sample, play enthusiastically in front of me, you are not far behind." They went to Lin Feng's room together and saw Lin Feng had a cigarette in his mouth. Hong Ying lit him with a lighter and said with a smile, "You cherish this lighter very much. You treat the gift that Dainan gave you as a treasure." Lin Feng said, "I and Dainan are good friends, and she treats me very well." Hong Ying said, "The friendship between you and Dainan is really rare, but it is undeniable that you and Dainan have long gone beyond the scope of ordinary friends." Lin Feng said, "Dainan and I have never had that before." Hong Ying said, "But the two of you have also played a lot of ambiguity. You dare to say that you haven't put your hand into Dainan's trousers." Lin Feng didn't deny it, because he did put his hands into Dainan's trousers many times before, and since Hong Ying had seen through the relationship between him and Dainan, it would be hypocrisy if he continued to deny it. In the face of a woman like Hong Ying, who is passionate and bright, the most inappropriate thing is hypocrisy. Lin Feng said, "Me and Dainan are very ambiguous good friends." Hong Ying said, "Ask a question that can easily make you tangled. If your future girlfriend doesn't agree with you and Dainan, or even disagrees with you and Dainan, what should you do?" Lin Feng was immediately stunned. In the past, his second girlfriend Shang Yuna had been against him and Dainan, and even wanted him to withdraw from the Fengnan fashion store. Because of this, he and Shang Yuna quarreled a lot. In the current situation, the person most likely to become his third girlfriend is Tian Qingzhu, the beauty school of Beijing Normal University. Tian Qingzhu and Dainan have a very good relationship. I am very grateful to Dainan for taking care of her. Her name is Dainan, is called Sister Nan. But after he really became his girlfriend, Tian Qingzhu's attitude towards Dainan would take a 180-degree turn. There is a possibility, and this is also what Lin Feng does not want to see. Hong Ying stood opposite Lin Feng, wrapped around Lin Feng's neck, her full chest touched his body, soft to him, hot to him, and fragrant to him. "You are so anxious, it looks like you are worried. I hope my future girlfriend can accept Dainan as my special friend," Lin Feng said. "Then Dainan has become an important prerequisite for you to meet a girlfriend. You really don't care about Dainan. I think you might as well marry Dainan. Although she played love games with Zhao Fei before, but she has never messed with other men. Although Dainan has no status, she is very beautiful and has a good temperament. What is commendable is that her heart is very positive and she is very kind." Hong Ying's chest collided several times in a row. Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng said, "I really want to develop with Dainan, but she doesn't even want to be my girlfriend, let alone marry me." Hong Ying said, "What is Dainan worried about?" Lin Feng said, "What I'm worried about is what may happen in the future." Hong Ying said, "I'm afraid that you will slander her after you get angry, and then she can't even be friends with you after she is hurt." Lin Feng nodded. Hong Ying's graceful body is very hot and rippling. "Do you want me to help Dainan's work?" Lin Feng said, "No need." Hong Ying said, "Why?" Lin Feng said, "Because you can't do her job, no one can do her relationship." Lin Fengzin said, "I am even more afraid that you will repair her when you can't do her job and get angry. I will repair whoever repairs Dainan, but I don't want to repair you, so you'd better not go." Hong Ying gradually calmed down, and the thought of wanting to help Lin Feng to do Dainan's work gradually disappeared. He smiled and said, "You cherish the lighter that Dainan gave you, and I hope you can cherish the gift I gave you." Lin Feng said, "What gift?" Hong Ying took out a beautifully packaged box from the Louis Vuitton satchel and said leisurely, open it yourself. If you are a person who knows goods, you will be surprised, but one thing is for sure, you must accept the gift I give you. Lin Feng opened the box and saw a high-end and exquisite Patek Philippe watch with a rose gold case and a crocodile leather strap. He did not expect that Hong Ying would give him such an expensive gift. Lin Feng said, I have browsed many Patek Philippe watches on the internet before, but I haven't paid attention to your watch, but I can probably guess that it should be more than 1 million. Hong Ying said, it only looks like more than 1.8 million. If you buy it from the market, it is normal for more than 2 million. Do you like it? Lin Feng said, it's more than just liking it, it's simply shocking. Although you said just now, I have to accept it, but I really don't dare to ask for it, because it's too precious. Hong Ying said, I don't think you are a timid person. Once someone like you gets angry and is fiercer than a tiger, this watch shouldn't scare you. To be continued. If you like this work, welcome you come to the starting point, to vote for recommended votes and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 341. Lin Feng said, but in the face of you and this watch, I'm not angry, so I can't be fierce. Hong Ying said, take it, don't break my heart. Lin Feng said, okay, thank you. Come on, I'll put it on for you. Hong Ying put this Patek Philippe watch worth more than 1.8 million on Lin Feng's arm. It is quite classy. Anyone who understands a little will know that this is a good watch, not to mention the Patek Philippe brand is too overbearing. It is Switzerland. The best of the famous watches, entry-level watches are already very expensive, not to mention the high-end one that Hong Ying gave to Lin Feng. Lin Feng's heart was heavy, and suddenly there was a watch worth more than 1.8 million yuan on his arm. If it was measured according to his current manuscript fee, he would need to code out 20 million words, and the money after tax would be enough. To buy this watch, based on 10,000 words per day, he needs to work hard for 6 years. Even if he is so numb, it is impossible to save all the money he earned in 6 years to buy such a watch and wear it on his wrist. Of course, there is still a lot of room for improvement in his manuscript fee in the future. If it is raised to 1,000 words and 1,000 yuan, then it will not take long to buy such a Patek Philippe. If he is fierce enough in the future, a piece of this grade a month Patek Philippe doesn't have any problems. Lin Feng did not express his ambitions in front of Hong Ying. He smiled with relief. If I take a bus or a taxi in the future, will I be a little sorry for the watch you gave me? I don't need to rent more than an Audi. I bought a brand name car and hired a driver, and let this watch go where I go. You bastard. Hong Ying smiled charmingly, her slender legs lifted and kicked Lin Feng's butt. Lin Feng picked up Hong Ying, walked to the edge of the bed and threw her on the bed. Hong Ying's graceful body trembled along with the soft big bed, her short skirt was rolled up, and her trousers were exposed. As expected, it was very narrow and easily exposed, but it didn't. What Lin Feng saw was Hong Ying's slender and plump legs and the outline of the panties, but he didn't see the hot sign inside the panties. Lin Feng lay down beside Hong Ying, kissed her red lips, and teased her panties. The moist softness brought him a wonderful enjoyment. Just when Lin Feng wanted to take off Hong Ying's panties, she grabbed his hand. Red Shadow said, "You can touch me any way you want, but you can't do that." Lin Feng said, "Is this not uncomfortable for you?" Hong Ying said, "I am not uncomfortable, but I know you will be uncomfortable, but there is nothing I can do. Who made you not my lover yet?" Lin Feng teased the soft and moist Red Shadow for a while, then rolled to the side, and soon lit another cigarette and started smoking. Hong Ying wondered, "Did Ye say anything to you?" Lin Feng said, "She said too much to me, sometimes you are there, sometimes you are not there." Hong Ying said, "Then what did she say to you when I wasn't there?" Lin Feng said, "I've said a lot, but it hardly involves you." "Oh." Hong Ying relaxed. She felt that Hong Ying should not have told Lin Feng that she would leave in a year. That night, Lin Feng and Hong Ying slept together. Maybe it was because he was worried that Lin Feng was too uncomfortable, so Hong Ying helped him release it once by jerking off. Hong Ying was very intoxicated when she was giving Lin Feng a flight, because Lin Feng was very tall and straight, and she wanted Lin Feng to become her lover too much. Although she did not break into Hong Ying's body, Hong Ying's technique was very unique and Lin Feng was quite ecstasy. When Hong Ying was still lying in bed, Lin Feng woke up. After washing up, he went to the third floor. He planned to practice for 2 hours, but he never expected to see Sister Wang, who was exercising on the treadmill. With the brisk footsteps, Sister Wang's whole hot body was surging, and the waves were full of dynamism. Lin Feng did not alarm Sister Wang, and walked over slowly. Just now, Sister Wang was still intoxicated by the joy of exercising. The moment he saw Lin Feng, his legs stopped, he stepped off the treadmill, and Lin Feng was about to go downstairs at a glance. Lin Feng grabbed Sister Wang's arm, and Sister Wang said angrily, "What do you want to do, you little bastard? Do you want to bully me when no one sees it?" Lin Feng said, "I got up early, definitely not to bully you. I came to practice Kung Fu. I didn't expect to meet you. I saw you were very angry, so I wanted to apologize." Sister Wang said, "Why are you apologizing?" Lin Feng said, "Because I and Hong Ying stimulated you." Sister Wang said, "I didn't want to mention this, but since you mentioned it, I'll ask whether the prank last night was your idea or Hong Ying's idea." Lin Feng said, "Whose idea do you think it would be?" Sister Wang said, "It must be your little bastard's idea. Hong Ying is too much to cooperate with you." The reason why Lin Feng didn't say it was Hong Ying's idea was because he didn't want to betray her. If Sister Wang guessed it was Hong Ying, it would have nothing to do with him. Unfortunately, what Sister Wang guessed was not Hong Ying, but him. It seems that Hong Ying left a good impression on Sister Wang before. However, it's not hard to bear a black pot of this nature for Hong Ying. Lin Feng smiled and said, "I'm sorry, Sister Wang, I teased you at the time. If you were wet, I can give you a pair of pants to make up for it." Sister Wang's eyes turned dark, and she almost fell to the ground. At the moment when her body was tilted, Lin Feng supported her. Sister Wang stared coldly at Lin Feng's face, and said angrily, "You little bastard, you are so angry. Me, today was supposed to be your last day in this villa, but I really couldn't help it. I have to call Yezi to complain. As for how she repairs you, will it prolong your stay here? Time is not something I can manage." Sister Wang was very angry and impulsive, but Lin Feng panicked to the extreme. He had already planned to go back to his rented bedroom early tomorrow morning and start typing like crazy, but at this time, he turned out to be the charm of Sister Wang. The woman provoked to the point where it would be impossible to file a complaint without looking for Ye. If Ye finds out that he will be punished for staying here for half a month or even a month, then his books will have to continue to be discontinued. At that time, his readers will have strong opinions, and his beautiful editor-in-chief will also have signed contracts with him. The company will be very angry, and he is basically finished. Lin Feng said with a smile, "Sister Wang, calm down, don't call Yezi, don't sue me." Sister Wang said, "I regret it now. It's too late." Sister Wang has already dialed Ye's number. At that moment, Lin Feng even wanted to grab Sister Wang's phone and throw it on the ground, but he really had no reason to do so. If he dropped Sister Wang's phone, he would bully this charming woman a little too much. Sister Wang has no grievances with him. After he lived in this villa, Sister Wang treated him very well. He couldn't do this to Ms. Wang. Seeing that it was Sister Wang, Yezi smiled and said, "Sister Wang, call me so early, is there something wrong with the villa?" "Lin Feng bullied me." "Why did that kid bully you, Yezi, I said angrily. First tease me, and then tease me, he's just utterly hateful. It seems that kid doesn't want to leave tomorrow. Sister Wang, don't worry, I will make the decision for you, I'll go over immediately. Yezideo. Sister Wang's cold eyes fell on Lin Feng's face, and she said coldly, I'm already very interested in you, you brought it all on your own. Lin Feng had no mood to practice kung fu at all, and went downstairs very depressed. When he got to the room, he saw Hong Ying lying on the bed sleeping, her slender legs were completely exposed, and although the narrow trousers blocked her wetness, couldn't completely cover her round buttocks. Lin Feng walked over and patted Hong Ying's buttocks. Hong Ying screamed and sat up. It wasn't that she was beaten and hurt, but Lin Feng's slap ruined her good dream. Are you crazy? It's early in the morning, you wake up when you wake up. What are you doing patting my butt? I'm not allowed to sleep in late. I offended Sister Wang, and then she went to Ye to complain. Ye will come over soon, I'm afraid I will be saddened, Lin Feng said. Hong Ying was surprised that Lin Feng had offended Sister Wang at such a critical moment, so that Sister Wang had to complain to Ye. You, let me say something. It seems that it is unknown whether you can leave here tomorrow. If Ye doesn't let you go, you really can't. Don't think that you can leave here if you are very skilled. Help me, I have to leave tomorrow, Lin Feng said. Tell me, how did you offend Sister Wang? Hong Ying said angrily. Lin Feng could only tell the whole process of offending Sister Wang on the third floor. Hong Ying was obviously not as angry as before. Hong Ying sighed softly, it seems that the impression I left on Sister Wang was so good before, so she suspected that the prank last night was your idea, which is equivalent to you taking the blame for me. Lin Feng said, so you have to help me let Sister Wang calm down. If Sister Wang pleads for me, Yezi has no reason to punish me. Lin Fengzin said, otherwise, if Ye won't let me go when I'm leaving tomorrow, and find some experts to block my way, I'll have to fight hard, and there will be a fight at that time. It might be hurt. Hong Ying said, I can only try it out. The problem is, even if I tell Sister Wang that the prank last night was made by me on a whim, she won't believe it. The key problem is, your kid actually said that you want to send Sister Wang away. Pants, you really don't know whether to live or die. In the eyes of the charming woman Wang Ji, you are just a little boy, but you are so teasing her. Lin Feng said, maybe I took it for granted at the time. Sister Wang was no longer on the third floor, and returned to her own room, sitting on the sofa and crying. Lin Feng's teasing on the third floor made her very angry. When she heard the knock on the door, she knew it was Lin Feng and Hong Ying, and after a moment of hesitation, she walked over to open the door, and said coldly, Hong Ying, you don't need to plead for this kid, it's useless. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommended and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read.